Hey there, coming up on a special draft day installment of Like It or Not. If the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for a different result, how do you explain the Cleveland Browns? Because they used their first pick in the draft to take another quarterback, and we know how well that's worked out in the past. Plus, the Redskins might as well go and sell and rename themselves Roll Tide. They took Doron Payne with the 13th pick, and D.C. may feel more like Sweet Home Alabama for the new tackle. And later, what would the draft be without the over-the-top outfits? And we're not just talking about Guy Lambert. We're sharing a couple of our favorites coming up. Like It or Not starts right now. I'm not Bram. I'm Jim Lokay. Bram's not here. I'm roped in, but I'm here with Britt and Guy. Good to see you both.
Good to see you guys, too. I think Ashburn is going to be vastly different from Roll Tide, Alabama, though.
You think?
The Alabama has some more wins. Woo, sorry.
Low blow already.
We're getting saucy here.
We're getting ready. We're heating up.
All right, so, yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of talk about last night, what we saw, the draft, which you saw playing off right here on Fox 5. And again tonight, after this, well, let's talk about the big story last night, the big pick off the top, Oklahoma's Baker Mayfield taking a page out of Nelly's songbook because he is number one. But is that really something to celebrate when you have to play for the Cleveland Browns? The 0-16 franchise took a bet on another quarterback despite the disasters that were Deshaun Kaiser, Johnny Manziel, Cody Kessler, Colt McCoy, Brady Quinn, Brandon Whedon, and Charlie Fry, and Derek Anderson, and Tim Couch, and we can keep going, but we're not going to do that. But Baker Mayfield, number one. Oh yeah.
See Scott McCloughan.
So, yeah, you pointed that out earlier at 5 o'clock. I completely forgot Scott McCloughan's working for the Browns.
Yeah. Former Redskins GM found life in Cleveland.
I really like this pick.
Okay. Wait. I'm sorry. I realize I have to ask the question. Like it or not?
There we go.
I'm new at this.
Well, it's all good. Hey, we got the same pocket square. So I like it a lot. Why do I like it? For Cleveland. This is a major move for Cleveland. As we all know, Cleveland sucks, all right? Let's just say it plain and simple, all right? Bottom line.
Every aspect.
Look, this is the fifth quarterback. The fifth quarterback they've taken since 1999. They are in desperate need of help. They could have picked a mailman for all we care, and that would have been a better pick than what they did last year. Here's where I don't like it. I don't like it for Baker. Because why? Well, this is the guy that they're.
Cleveland.
Well, not only that, but he instantly becomes the man. And when he becomes the man, there's responsibility that goes along with that. It's like handing him the keys to a Ferrari and saying, hey, just go for it, not having somebody in the passenger seat to tell him to slow down. Great for Cleveland, bad for Baker.
Well,
because
will have
he's going to Cleveland.
Tyrod Taylor.
I was going to say, if you're Tyrod Taylor, how do you feel? You left Buffalo for Cleveland.
I think you were checking in that rental if you're Tyrod Taylor. I mean, he knows that was coming. I want to bring up, it's always the old tale, but Tom Brady in the 6th round, Russell Wilson. But what's interesting is Russell Wilson got an endorsement from Scott McCloughan saying that he's undersized, but he has it. Scott McCloughan was a part of this draft. I'm not trying to be a cheerleader. I think he's really good at what he does. The Redskins have kept the board intact from McCloughan. So I'm going to throw the dice and say I like it, that I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah. But don't have LeBron endorse him. LeBron, keep those jerseys away like Johnny Manziel's you had a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And also stop with the comparisons to Johnny Manziel. Because Johnny Manziel has had multiple chances. He allegedly abused his ex-girlfriend. Stop it. That's not fair to Baker.
Right.
That's not fair with that baggage.
Well, okay, so Johnny Manziel there was all this talk about Johnny football going on, but one of the big storylines last night was Josh Allen, and not because of anything he did on the field. It's what he did when he was 15.
Yeah, go figure. Hey, next up, we're talking about Josh Allen. The Wyoming quarterback had the potential to become the #1 pick. Then his social media page came back to haunt him. Hours before the draft, some old offensive tweets resurfaced, including some that used the N-word. Well, that didn't stop the Bills from trading up for him and drafting him 7th overall. Allen apologized, but may still have to answer the social media mistake the minute he walks into the locker room. So, like it or not, should his stock have fallen as far as it did?
I think you're the best one to weigh in on this, in terms of you're in that locker room. If you're a player who would you be offended by
this? Didn't bother me not one bit. Why? He was 14 and 15 when he What did you do when you were 14 and 15, let alone what did you do later on in life?
Thankfully, did not have social media.
This is not a big deal for him. I mean, he's apologized. Word is he was speaking to the GM, crying about it. Some of his friends actually grabbed his cell phone and tweeted and said, hey, we did that in the past, so it could have been his friends as well. I don't think it's a big deal.
Well, I think Laramie Tunsil, and was that last year or 2 years ago? Was it
2 years? Was it 2 years ago?
It was fairly recently with the Miami Dolphins. This was a guy where pictures.
2 years ago.
Thank you. Pictures resurfaced of him with a mask and a bong, smoking weed, and his draft stock dropped precipitously. He lost a lot of money in that regard. But he was also, at that point, about a year or so removed from those photos. We're not talking about when Josh Allen was 14, 15.
I just thought it was really cruel to see adults on social media attacking this kid. Obviously, you're not going to defend the tweets, but he was 16 years old. I made public mistakes at 28 years old, and I know that feeling of being crushed. So I'm glad that he still got
The tweet we need to talk about is what he tweeted about the guy he's going to be competing against, A.J. McCarron. Of course, when he said, hey, your wife kind of looks great. Did you hear about that?
Yes,
actually,
I did.
Retweeted it.
And Brent Musburger agrees.
She does look great. So speaking of trying to look great, the Redskins had just one pick in round one, and the Burgundy and Gold went with the Roll Tide. As we mentioned, Washington took Alabama defensive tackle Doron Payne with the 13th pick. And Coach Jay Gruden called him the perfect fit. The 20-year-old will now be reunited with former teammates Jonathan Allen and Ryan Anderson right up the road in Ashburn. So, like it or not.
Should they?
I don't really like the pick.
Because there was so much speculation about where they would go with this.
Yeah.
And in the grand scheme of things, when you look at previous draft picks for the Redskins, I mean, Josh Doctson, you're only now seeing what potential he has because he was just injured left and right. It's a tough call. I mean, I think this is a team that's still trying to figure out what it wants to be, what it's going to be. You have a new quarterback coming in, so I think the jury's still out on this.
I spoke to an NFL agent who said Vita Vea couldn't rush the passer, and that's who a lot of Redskins fans, I think, wanted.
Plus, it's fun to say.
Yeah, Vita Vea. The Redskins struggled against the run, ranked 29th in yards per attempt, and trying to defend that. This kid can rush the passer, so maybe he's what they need. I just don't know if he was the best available at that time.
I think this is a good thing. As an alum of the University of Alabama, high five going out to you, dude. He's joining two other guys that actually went to the University of Alabama. It will make him more comfortable, and we'll see more progress out of him in the end.
Can we get a promo with you in the Alabama game?
He's wearing the Crimson Pocket Square. Hey, the Joe Flacco era in Baltimore is going to eventually come to an end at some point. Is he elite? Well, that's a debate for another day. But who takes his place, though, is up in the air. Is there room for RG3 on the Ravens after the final pick of round one? Like it or not, is coming right back. The Like It or Not set is here, not off the newsroom, and they have this popcorn machine, and we were all wondering if that was real stuff. Britt sampled it right beforehand, and the verdict is?
It's a little stale.
Okay.
But I will eat anything.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Yeah.
I'm hungry.
This might be a desperate measure for the Baltimore Ravens. Remember former Redskins quarterback RG3? Well, he took a trip up I-95 to Baltimore, but it looks like he'll have some competition for the role of Joe Flacco's backup. The Ravens picked up Heisman winner Lamar Jackson last night after trading with Philadelphia for the 32nd pick in the first round. That means the team now has, count them, not one but two run-and-gun quarterbacks on the roster. Griffin didn't seem too worried, taking to Twitter to welcome the Louisville quarterback and promising to get to work. So, like it or not, is there room for RG3, the third, again and again in Charm City?
Competition. He's already packing those bags up, getting his house ready in Florida. No, I mean, unless they, keep three quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson is a first-round pick. He's going to come ahead of RG3. Sure. Perhaps he can learn. I actually sort of root for RG3 now because he had such a fall from grace. And I think he has learned some things, but he still can't stay away from social media. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I think in the grand scheme of things, when you look at, I thought when he went to the Browns, when RG3 went to the Browns, I'm thinking, this is what they need. And keep in mind, he won their one game in the last two seasons.
He did.
So he has that feather in his cap. But I think when you look at the Baltimore Ravens as a franchise moving forward, Joe Flacco, he's their guy for the time being. I don't think there's room for him. I mean, I think people deserve second chances, although are we on the third chance for RG3? But I just don't think Baltimore is going to be long-term for him.
Obviously, the run-and-gun quarterback is the future, the quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
That's why they're investing in RG3 and now Mr. Jackson. I don't know what's going to happen with this. I don't think it's going to be a friendly competition. We saw what happened here in D.C., with the Redskins when RG3 was with them. Wasn't too friendly with Kirk Cousins. How do you think he's going to be with Mr. Jackson?
Do you think that as a fan base, Redskins fans are going to watch Kirk Cousins the way that they watch RG3 once he left?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, with that obsession,
There's
though.
still a lot of love for him, I think, in this area.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people who somehow think he was done wrong.
Yeah.
I think the Shanahans were, but now the tweets are going to come at me for that. But I think people will still follow him.
Okay.
We'll have to wait and see, like it or not. Hey, Saquon Barkley got picked 2nd overall, and it may have been the only second best thing to happen to him this week. Coming up next, we're sharing some of the feel-good moments from round 1 of the draft and taking a look ahead at what to expect in round 2. We're back after this.
We would be on the same side with the royal baby. Like, if this were any other Like It or Not, we'd do a whole segment on that because everybody knows here.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And I don't either.
Unfortunately, we're not doing that tonight.
No. Talking about
The
football.
great equalizer.
You know what you do care about, Jim? Feel-good stories.
Yes,
It's a
we
great
all want to
story.
feel good about ourselves.
There are too many storylines to count at the NFL draft, but there are always a few that leave fans feeling good. And tonight, we're highlighting 4 of them. First up, the University of Maryland's DJ Moore. He's heading to Carolina. Like it or not, a good thing?
I like it. I love Ron Rivera. I spent a lot of time covering that organization, and it's just first class.
I like it too because it's always good to have those local connections, those local stories. You know, you have people watching the Panthers just because there's that local connection for it, and you know, you get somebody else to watch besides Cam Newton down there.
And they, you know, used to say that was a huge Redskins market because it's not that far.
Yeah,
to your point. So I think he'll have a good following that can drive to go see him.
This kid is going to go far. Of course, immediately after they picked him up, Cam Newton tweeted the coach saying, hey, this is the best thing ever.
It's a good endorsement.
Very
You're going to Carolina.
Steve Smith also said, this is the first guy that can replace me at Carolina. I mean, that's
Wait, does he mean in production or sound bite?
Good question.
Because
find out about that one.
He's a talker.
Yeah.
Guess we'll have to wait and see. Next up, Saquon Barkley getting taken number 2 overall by the New York Giants. Maybe the second best thing to happen to him this week. Of course, he had a little baby, or shall I say his wife or girlfriend had a little baby.
Yeah, she did the hard work there.
Yeah. So, you like it? Or
I like this very much for 2 reasons. One, I have a lot of friends who are Giants. The Giants, they need it. You know, I kind of feel bad for the Giants after that run the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And they need to start building for the future. I mean, I was surprised at first they didn't decide to go after a quarterback, you know, because it looked like, you know, they're done with Eli Manning, but then you have the change in regime. But I also feel like anything that would tick off Philadelphia Eagles fans in Pennsylvania, and not just because I have one in my ear right now, but yeah.
I don't like it.
Oh, no, that's okay. That's all right.
No, because I think that
embrace debate.
Embrace it. But I genuinely think that, of course, they were taking calls. I just find it hard to believe they couldn't find someone who wanted Saquon as much at 2 as well. And leverage that to maybe fall a couple spots back, like Buffalo trading up.
There was talk about it.
So you could get more for it and go after a QB. How do you have that debacle of a season with Eli, no matter the coaching changes, and you don't initially go get one of these top 4 quarterbacks?
Yeah. No, I think that was a surprise. I mean, it was definitely a surprise.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but he is a great running back. Now we'll have him and Ezekiel Elliott and the Redskins.
Hey, I like it a lot. This guy needs to play
Same
the
division.
lottery. Why do I say that? Because, well, he's now the 3rd highest paid running back in the NFL. He just stepped in the NFL and he's getting paid seriously. Not only that, his jersey, now the number 1 selling jersey as a rookie coming into the NFL. This guy's winning in every way, form, and fashion.
You know, Chris Long of the Eagles made a good point, though, how everyone has this hysteria of being taken in that top 10 where you're falling, where you're not. The rookie deals don't really benefit you that much. He said it's better just prove yourself, and your next deal is when you really make money in the NFL.
Proof in the pudding for that, Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
This guy is making more than Carson Wentz. Can you
And
believe
he hasn't
that?
done anything
and
yet.
hasn't done
And
anything.
Yeah.
Hey, we're talking about the Edmonds brothers making history. Virginia Tech's Terrell and Tremaine are the first siblings drafted in the first round. You know they have another brother that plays in the NFL as well?
What are they trying to be, the balls? The balls of the NFL?
Like it or not.
No, we don't need that.
I like it. I mean, I like that too because I'm a bit partial, being a Steelers fan, growing up in Pittsburgh. But I think when storylines like this are great. I mean, think about Tiki and Rondé Barber and just how much, you know, they got so much attention because of their relationship, because they're brothers, because they did different things with different teams. But, you know, it's a great storyline. It gives us something to talk about going into the season.
I like it, but I don't like I don't want to see friendliness on the field if they face each other. Like I want my players to be.
Because what about
we're brothers tomorrow on Monday. You know.
I hate the jersey swap after the game. I just want to say that. Like I want to take the grudges off the field too.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
So it's cool though.
Okay.
I mean, hey, parents breeder quality.
Speaking of that, you know what I want to see? The family reunion. Can you imagine the spread they're going to have? You combine all their money together. Oh my God.
Right.
It's gonna be one heck of a
Whose jerseys are you going to wear?
Yeah.
That's
good decision, Mom. Last but not least, we're talking about Pittsburgh's Ryan Shazier walking up to the podium to announce the Steelers pick just 5 months after suffering a severe spinal injury that almost left him paralyzed. Like it or not, and we all should say we love
to tear
this.
Up. Of course I like it.
Okay, I like it. I like the symbolism of it. What I'm going to say is I don't like when you think the deeper meaning behind it. You know, this is a serious injury that this young man, who's extremely talented, suffered on the field. It was not a dirty play. It was a football. It was a football play. But it brings to mind the controversy and the ongoing conversation we're having in this country over injuries in the NFL. And you know, here's Roger Goodell and everybody else, and rightfully so. You're applauding him. But think about it. I mean, you know, this guy. They say he's never going to. They say he says he wants to play again.
Right.
He's already ruled out for 2018. I don't know if he's ever going to play again, but it was
highly unlikely.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's really weird to see that, and the symbolism of the game that he loves being the one that put him in that condition in the first place.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to get worse in the next 5 to 10 years with CTE issues.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, I like it a lot. I mean, the reason I like it is because the Pittsburgh Steelers could have easily moved on, forgotten about the guy, but they wanted to honor him, wanted to recognize him, and you know that he felt really good at the end of the day.
But they're a class organization, so.
Yeah, I want to see him. I would love to see him come back because he's a hell of a player.
All right.
Let's talk about overall. When you think about the draft itself, the first round overall grades. What are you thinking here?
For
the first round, I mean, let's do it overall.
Overall, I give it a B-.
Okay.
I think Josh Rosen. I think all the teams that didn't draft Josh Rosen are going to regret it. Like he said, 9 mistakes were made before him. I like the kid.
Yeah, I guess. I'm giving it a D.
I know a lot of people.
A D?
Yeah, for all the drama surrounding the first round. I mean, gosh, look at it. 4 quarterbacks taken within the first top 10 picks. When is the last time that's happened? You got the controversy surrounding Josh Allen. We just talked about the running back that went second that Britt doesn't like. There's a lot of storylines going on.
I think that, though, I'm going to give it what I got a couple in college, incomplete. Because I think as we move forward, we're going to see how this really plays out. Did the Giants do the right thing by not going with the quarterback? Who knows?
Well, we don't want an incomplete grade for the Redskins. They will continue on. The second round of the draft gets underway in just about 10 minutes or so. And let's talk about what to expect. First up, another player set to make history. We could hear Shaquille Griffin's name called tonight. He's the University of Central Florida linebacker who only has one hand.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
When you see him, it's like total beast mode working out and just able to make this incredible career happen for him and because of that, which years ago would be unheard of, but it's possible now.
There are guys you love and guys you root for.
Yeah.
This is a guy that both. I mean, to have one hand, somebody's going to pick him up. They really need special teams help. He's great on special teams, and then you got to find a place for him on defense. I mean, that's the main thing, and I don't think it's really going to be hard for him to actually.
It is incredible. Finally, how about the Redskins? They'll get the 44th overall, and they're selecting in round 2. What do you guys want to see? We don't have much time, but what do you want to see?
Running back.
I'm with you.
Beef up
I
the running
want
game.
help for Chris Thompson. Get another legendary Clinton Portis.
We need a cornerback. What do you mean a running back? Really?
They got Alex Smith.
Well, a cornerback?
Oh, I thought you said quarterback.
No, cornerback. Another DB.
Okay.
Definitely. That's what I hope to see.
They need a lot more than a 7-9 season.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
And fans deserve more than that, too.
Go big.
All right, forget football. Draft day fashion was on full display last night. Coming up next, we're going to share 2 of the standouts, like it or not. Finally tonight, the draft red carpet rivals the Oscars when it comes to fashion on display. We know that this year's draft class did not disappoint. First up, quarterback Lamar Jackson styling in his green Gucci suit. Yeah, take a look at this. That's UFOs. Wow. Hearts and eyes on his shirt. And I must ask.
Look at is that his mother, though, next to him? She was wearing a fire dress.
Hey, can't forget about the chain as well. I mean, that's a big deal.
Was that a planet?
Who knows?
Yeah. Like it or not, guy.
Do you really care about this? Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, a lot of people like this. A lot of people care. I like it a lot. Why? Because, well, you got a style and you got a profile when you're heading to the NFL draft. The key for him is you got to get selected in the first round. You can't show up like that and then just sit in the green room.
Barely
made it. That's why I like it. Good job.
I don't.
I think that says it all.
I mean, I just don't understand. So many men, predominantly men, watch this.
The obsession.
Why they care about fashion.
No. Okay, also stealing the show, Pizza Hut, which is now the official pizza of the NFL, dealing with something a little bit different here. We're talking about the outfit for Pittsburgh wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster. Look at that. A lot of pizza for Juju. So when it comes,
does he get free pizza now?
He better get free pizza. Does he look like he eats pizza though? Juju's in great shape.
Well, he's the official spokesman for Pizza Hut. They're now issuing a challenge. It's called the doorbell dance. So you tweet in or you send in a dance of you that you do when you hear the doorbell ring.
Yeah.
So he's their spokesman. That's why I wore it. I like it a lot.
I'm a Domino's girl.
Are we all in agreement that when it comes to
feel?
Papa John's, no.
Yeah,
That's why they're not doing it anymore.
Yeah.
All right, so the NFL draft continues right here on Fox 5, rounds 2 and 3 tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. And by the way, shameless plug, because we were into this yesterday. Watch Britt at 11:30 on Sunday night.
Nice.
She's doing the Final Five on Sundays now. So
And you still got him Monday through Friday.
And then you're going to see Guy at 8 o'clock on Fox 5 Plus.
Hey, it's a love fest.
All in the family.
Exactly. Thanks for watching,
Enjoy the
everybody. Bram will be back next week, but this was fun.
It was.
We're gonna eat more of that popcorn now.
You go first.